might be a lot of background noise. Not too much. The what? Up here.
Hi, Stefan. Okay, I will speak. Okay. Hi, Hong Kongers, and today we are going to broadcast the boycott Beijing Olympics activities in Glasgow, Scotland today. So currently, our friend Stefan is in Glasgow. Hi, Stefan.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. The city is vibrant, full of people, and the weather is great compared to the morning.
Yeah.
Now we can get some sunshine as well.
Oh, I can see that from your camera. There are more people today than yesterday.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you introduce us some more details about today's activity and how many people there and what they appeal for? All this kind of situation and also the situation there.
Right. I haven't been in Glasgow for a while just now, but looking here, it's as vibrant as usual. So in every corner of the street, you can see people preaching their own agenda. When I was passing through the station, there's a guy talking about Jesus, for example, and morals. Here we got our main focus today is the Hong Kongers, as you said, talking about boycotting the Beijing Olympics. There is more people here already engaged in conversations, and people are still setting up. You can see the Scottish flag as well here, and next to it there is, I believe, Tibetan flag in support of independent Tibet here. If I look up the main street, Buchanan Street, you can see it's quite long and winding, and there are other people preaching their stuff, which I don't know what they're talking about at the moment, but it's usually about anti-abortion protest and belief in Jesus Christ, independence, and so on. So it's really multicultural and quite connecting to the world. And,
Cool.
People, we can expect a lot of communications here because people like to chat to each other. That's very common for Glasgow.
Okay. And later, would you like to help us to do some interviews on the peoples, not only on the Scottish people, but also on the activists? Oh, from your image, I can see that not only Hong Kong is there, but also some Tibetan there. Am I right?
Yeah, you can see the flag.
Yes.
People support similar cause, and especially if it's connected to the operation of the Chinese Communist Party.
Okay. And later, would you like to do some interviews on those Tibetan people? We want to know why they are here to support Hong Kong, or what they want to do, what are their appeals? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you very much, Stefan. And we just give all the things to you, and then you just lead us and show us what's going on there. Thank you very much, Stefan.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Call you later.
Okay.
Okay, I will call you later, Stefan.你华奶奶到你家了？
呢個係喺中國曾經，呢個係喺中國曾經受壓迫嘅香港人嘅呼籲。2022年喺北京嘅冬季奧運會，會係繼1936年納粹德國所舉辦嘅柏林奧運會之後，有一場羞恥嘅奧運會。當東京奧運會舉辦世界已經強調奧運必須要有人權嘅元素，但係我哋見到中共政權仍然固步自封咁樣，繼續去壓迫嗰啲爭取人權嘅自由鬥士，甚至係傷害無辜嘅平民。中共為建立永續嘅中華帝國，強行喺文化、思想、歷史上面對西藏、新疆、香港等等進行種族清洗，喺西藏、新疆建立再教育營，強迫佢哋勞動同埋接受歸信中共嘅愛國教育。喺香港推行國安法，將所有願意傳講中共醜陋真相嘅人送去政治黑奴，化成呢個中國城市，亦都剝奪咗香港人嘅提名權，試圖將西藏、新疆同香港嘅等同一個中國嘅地方、中國嘅城市，我哋被政權逼迫，無可奈何地只能夠選擇離開家鄉。我哋清楚今屆冬季奧運會係英國最能夠獲得史上最多金牌嘅今屆冬季奧運會，但係我哋希望大家都能夠知道，通過打造呢個美麗冬季奧運會背後有幾多充滿血淋淋漠視人權嘅事實。曾經，中共喺2008年北京奧運會承諾人權上有改善，但14年過後，人權狀況根本冇絲毫改變，依然糟糕。不寫嘅謊言渲染不了寫嘅真相。如果大家都支持人權，喺直播喺現場嘅華人支持人權，我哋希望大家記到我哋嘅身旁，決定再睇呢個冬季嘅奧運會，再睇呢個北京嘅冬季奧運會，買任何同北京冬奧相關嘅產品。面對極權，我哋會繼續對抗荒謬，直到極權倒台嘅一日。光復香港，時代革命。
I will use English to say it again. This appeal from the Hong Kongers previously prosecuted in China. The 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics Games is another Winter Olympics of shame after the Berlin Games held last in Germany in 1936. When the Olympics was hosted in Tokyo, the world had emphasized that human rights must be an essential element in the Games. However, the China Communist regime remains unchanged and continuously persecutes fighters for human rights and liberty, and even London citizens. For exhibiting an everlasting Chinese emperor, CCP forcefully imposed its radical cleansing in Tibet, Xinjiang, and Hong Kong on culture, ideological, and historical perspectives. Re-education camps are exhibited in Tibet and Xinjiang to force people to work and accept CCP's political education. In Hong Kong, national security law is enforced to send people who are willing to display the truth, the dark cells, and the nominations rights to legislative council election is threatened. States as Tibet, Xinjiang, and Hong Kong are accepted to be assimilated in a city in China. Under the supervision of the authorities, we have no choice but to live home. We are well aware that Great Britain is most likely to win most gold medals in the Games, but we hope everyone would know the fact of run human rights where CCP is organizing the beautiful Winter Olympics. Once upon a time, CCP performers improved human rights for the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Nevertheless, 40 years past it, the human rights conditions in China has had no change at all. The light vitamin E cannot come further back with vitamin blood. If you are also a supporter of human rights, we wish you to stand with us in getting data mined, not watching the games, and not buying any products related to the Beijing Winter Olympics. Before the totalitarians, we will keep on fighting for stability until the day totalitarians collapse. Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong. Fight for freedom, stand with Tibet. Fight for freedom, stand with Taiwan. Fight for freedom, stand with Uyghurs. Fight for freedom, stand with South Mongolia. Thank you. And there will be the next session, and we'll play the national anthem.
And who rose again from their justification. Because you preach unto you that God is just, that God is holy, that God is just, that God is righteous, that God is the age of failure, that God is love, and His love is manifested in the giving of His Son, that He came to die and then raised our sinner. My dear friends, this is good news, and it appalls you, my friend, because the Bible tells us it's appointed unto each and every one of you a day of death. And after that death, my friend, is judgment. Judgment, my friend, for you'll be judged according to the deeds that you've done in the body. You'll be judged according to every thought you've ever had. And you'll be judged for every idle work you've spoken. My dear friend, you don't want to live in you. Contemplate the marvelous grace of God Jesus Christ. God's mind is made what is what wonder and what creator between man and God, and in the man Christ.
Keep stand for the glory to Hong Kong.
And fully man, God in the flesh, fully God in the summer of evil. Salvation is all the Lord, my friend, but it is in the Lord. For the Lord Jesus Christ says, I am the way, the truth, the life, and that no man can come to the Father but through him. He is easy, my friend. God, so what a way to enter into heaven. It is only through the man Christ Jesus. It is only through the Lord Jesus Christ. The only
For MSP College Citizens, she is SMP and a member of the Cause Party Groups on Demand.
Hi, it's Sophie. 27th of January in Parliament, I spoke in a debate on the anniversary of the Holocaust. I stated in the debate that one day we'll see an end to genocide, and yet here we are in the 21st century, continue to see human atrocities being committed by communist China. On the 4th of February, several days from now, the Beijing Olympics will take place. The International Olympics Committee are allowing these games to happen in Beijing despite human rights, advocacies, and even celebrities are campaigning to boycott the games and send a clear message to Beijing that we will not tolerate such human rights violations. They have a simple demand: boycott the Olympics, do not send your representatives, and do not send players to compete. Is this an unprecedented request? No, it isn't. There is historical precedence whereby 6 times we have seen this happen in previous Olympics. Wars, invasions, and apartheid have been the reasons behind this boycott. This time it's human rights. So what will world leaders do to boycott the genocide games? They are hesitant. They don't want a complete boycott, but they still want to be seen to be doing something, so they find a middle ground. They will send their teams, but none of the politicians will attend. They are calling it a diplomatic boycott. The US, Australia, the UK, Canada, and the EU countries have all come out and announced they are boycotting the games. It is meaningless and non-binding. A real protest would look more like Eunice Carter, an American basketball player, is running a campaign, and it appears to be a lot more effective. He's wearing shoes during the NBA games and basketball, which is a huge following in China, and he's campaigning through his shoes. The shoes have various slogans such as "Move the Games, Move China, No Beijing 2022. He, along with other sporting celebrities, have now been censored in China. There is genocide happening right now in China. Torture, rape, forced abortions, specialisation, family separations, arbitrary detentions, concentration camps, and forced labour, political re-education. The heartless dictators of China, Yanjin, and the Communist Party of China are carrying this out now as we speak. We need to call this right now. Close down the slave labour camps, free the Uyghur people, and stop the genocide now. China is very tensioned about this and doesn't want the games to be tarnished by protests. So they have banned foreign spectators, so it's difficult to boycott something that we are not allowed to attend in the first place. The IOC, what are they saying about it? They want to remain neutral and free from any politics. So where does that sit with their guiding principles when they published the human rights strategy in December 2020? It stated that it would align the Olympic movement as a whole with the UN guiding principles. Said, however, in more recent times, that the strategy will not be implemented until after the 2022 Beijing Olympics. How convenient is that? And what a complete pop-out. And by the way, the IOC has pages worth of evidence of China's human rights abuses that go entirely against the Olympics truce, and they're simply choosing to ignore it. And what about the sponsors? They too continue to remain silent about China's human rights violations. 15 brands, including brands such as Coca-Cola, B&B, Procter & Gamble, Intel, and Visa. A human rights group wrote to them and they times, and they were very documented. They make billions from the Chinese market, and they don't want their balance sheets ruined by standing up for human rights. The world has known about
Madam, can someone this way? Can you make it closer? Close your mouth.
Okay, sorry. The world has known about China's genocide for years, but global institutions have failed to hold China to account. The Olympics are no different. The international system is not only protecting China, it is rewarding it. Weak global leadership and weak sporting institutions and companies that can profit before human lives. Olympics have a track record of being on the wrong side of history. The best example of that is that the Berlin Olympics in 1936, when Hitler hosted the Olympics, and even then there were demands for a boycott. There were a heated debate around it. Some countries threatened to pull out, but they failed to do so. The world today refers to those games as the Nazi games, and now history will repeat itself by the genocide games of 2022. I urge all global leaders, big institutions, sporting leaders, people of conscience to boycott these Olympics. We owe it to the people of Tibet, East Turkestan, Hong Kongers to end this repression now. We cannot allow China to showcase itself as a respectable, open and free country, when in reality it is the worst of the worst for human rights atrocities, including the brutal occupation of Tibet and the genocide of Uyghur communities. Having a full boycott will build pressure on China to take positive, tangible steps to end the human rights situation. We all have one common goal: to end the illegal occupation in Tibet and the wide-scale human rights atrocities carried out by the Chinese Communist Party. And just to finalise that, their silence in essence is complicity. Thank you.
Well done, Rick. And here the second speaker will be the winner from the best sovereignty, and she is also secretary of the Top Party Group of Tibet in the Scottish Parliament.
Can everyone hear me okay? So we're here today calling for a boycott, a diplomatic boycott of the Winter Olympics taking place in China in just under a week. We're making this call because of the repression that's happening to the Tibetans, the Uyghurs, the Southern Mongolians, the Hong Kongers, the people of Taiwan, and many countries in China. China last had an Olympic Games, and back then, the International Olympic Games would be a catalyst for progress in human rights. They said it would be a force for good. That's a direct quote. They would be a force for good. So what actually happened? I'm going to tell you a little story about two Tibetans. One of them was a journalist called Dundit Warchin, and the other was a monk called Golem Jigme. And in the run-up to the 2008 Olympics, they decided to make a film capturing the thoughts of ordinary Tibetans about human rights and about the fact that the Olympics was coming to China. So they travelled around the country and they recorded short interviews with Tibetans, merely expressing their opinions, saying a few words, saying what they thought about these two topics. And for that most terrible of crimes, they were both arrested. They were both tortured. Golubchik did 3 separate stints in prison. He was severely tortured. He eventually escaped. Was effectively smuggled out of the country. Donald Wangchen spent, I think it was 7 years in prison. I mean, do you know what you have to do in this country to actually spend 7 years in prison? It's not make a film, I'll tell you that. So this is what progress in human rights looks like in China. It's people being arrested for making a documentary. And now we're giving China another Olympic Games because of this incredible progress in human rights. I mean, really, you know the saying, fool me once, shame on me. Sorry, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, the International Olympic Committee, shame on you, seriously. And shame on the governments who are not boycotting. Now, after that film was made, it was smuggled out of the country and there was an uprising over this. China likes to call it a riot, but it was an uprising. People were protesting, again, expressing their opinions. And the response was brutal. 227 people died. Over 100 of them were shot on the day. Many more died later from their injuries or other related causes. 6,810 were imprisoned. Many of them spent years in jail because they did what we're doing here today. They marched, they shouted slogans. They didn't do anything that would be illegal in most places. They stood in crowds like this. They shared their views. And they were shot, they were imprisoned, they were tortured. Their rights were infringed in the harshest ways possible. This is the kind of repression that makes China an unfit host for the Olympic Games. This is why we're calling for a diplomatic boycott. Since 2008, the situation has deteriorated. They've introduced new security laws, there's been military crackdowns, extensive surveillance, and a systematic attack on the culture of the Tibetans, specifically, also of the Uyghurs. I'm sure you've all heard of the camps that exist, of the some million Uyghur people currently detained in what China is calling re-education camps. There is a process of cultural assimilation which is happening through repression of the language. Education in Tibetan language is being curtailed. They're closing schools, forcing Tibetan children to learn in Mandarin. They're doing the same in Southern Mongolian, closing down Mongolian language education, forcing those children to learn in what to them is a foreign language. This is systematic, an attempt to assimilate these cultures because they are afraid. Many people talk about how strong China is. They are afraid. They are afraid of ideas which are popular. They are afraid of influence. This is why they crack down on monasteries which are too influential. They crack down on artists who are popular. They crack down on communities that have strong leaders. They are afraid of any challenge to their power. This is ultimately what it's about. And this is why we need to stand up to them. We cannot let them get away with it. We must stand up for Tibetans, stand up for Uyghurs, stand up for Hong Kongers, stand up for the Taiwanese, stand up for the Chinese themselves who want to assert their human rights, stand up for the Southern Mongolians, stand up for everyone who believes in freedom and justice.
Have you not noticed, have you not
And
seen the
boycott
history of the
these genocide
world
games.
to tell you that man is evil, that they stumble from war to war, from terrorist act to terrorist act? Have you not lifted up your paper and
Well, because in this class, if you guys would like to join us, maybe because most of you guys are walking around. So, thank you for coming.
The Bible tells us that these sins, they come forth from an evil, wicked heart. Adultery, fornication, idolatry, they come from within, my friends, from out of the heart. And my dear friends, have you not noticed that the things you speak about, the filthy words, the lies, the blasphemy, the gossip, the backbiting, the hating, it comes from your mouth, my friend, and the Bible tells you, for out of the mouth speaks the abundance of the heart. Oh, my dear friends, you're born corrupt, perverted, dislocated. When we come here with the message that should make you a new teacher in Christ, we come here with the message of reconciliation. We come here with the command, my friend, not a request. God commands you to repent. And this is His commandment. You believe on His Son, because at the moment you don't believe in His Son, you have made God a liar. My friend, how foolish to call out the Lord God Almighty, and the shadow man to call him a liar.
No lies, no games. No lies, no games. Say no to Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics. Say no to Beijing 2022 Olympics. Fight for freedom. Stand with Hong Kong. Stand with Hong Kong. Fight for freedom. Fight for freedom. Stand with Tibet. Stand with Tibet.
don't know enough of the Beijing 2022. So I don't know what's happening in Beijing in 2022. I don't know.
Yeah, there's going to be Olympic Games.
Yeah, the Olympic Games.
Yeah, you know about that.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I mean the same thing with Qatar, right?
Qatar said, yeah.
Sports are meant to represent something more than just, kicking a ball or shooting a ball or whatever. So I'm all for it. I support it 100%. If no rights, no games, all for it. I'm not going to watch either of the two, either the Qatar tournament, the World Cup thing, or the Olympics. Out of it.
Thank you. Do you come from Glasgow?
I come from Greece, but I have been here since 1996, so I'm a Glaswegian, through and through. I feel now.
Fantastic. Yeah. Do you see more events like this happening in Glasgow?
I haven't seen a lot of events like this. No, I haven't, because I don't move a lot of times in the city center, so I don't see many of this. But I'm all for people speaking up, and anytime there's a good worthy cause, I'm happy to support it. By the way.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Thank you for your speech.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. It's very hard trying to concentrate on.
Of course.
No, it's fine. Yeah. So you're from one of the papers, one of the.
I volunteer for media. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
So would you mind me asking you a couple of questions?
No, not at all.
Yeah. What's your name again?
So I'm Colette Stevenson, the MSP for East Kilbride, but I also sit on the cross-party group for Tibet as well. So there's several of us, and my predecessor, Linda Fabiani, MSP, was involved in it as well. So when you start to look at some of the atrocities that are committed over there, it's absolutely horrifying. So it's all the more reason why we should be doing a grassroots campaign to raise the profile, basically, more than anything else. So yeah.
How have you heard about this event?
Sorry?
How have you heard about this event happening today?
I'm part of the cross-party group, so Eleanor, she's our secretariat. She actually passed on the details to me, and I volunteered to come along and speak at it today. I feel really strongly about the atrocities that are occurring in China and the indigenous people, in different countries. So in Turkestan and Tibet as well, so it's horrifying. So I thought it was only right for us to come along and speak in the actual event.
That's great, thank you. And what do you think was going to have an impact on people?
Well, I'd like to think so. We try to say that it's not just about diplomatic boycotting of it that's going to work. It's the actual people that are involved in the actual sports that should be boycotting it. People, big sports personalities as well should be raising the profile. In this day and age, we shouldn't be seeing these kinds of atrocities, especially in light of all the damage that we've seen in the past with the Holocaust. To actually be witnessing another genocide in this day and age is just, in our 21st century, this should not be happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Would like to add anything else from your perspective?
No, I just think that as we try to raise the profile of what's happening in China, it's not a respectful country. There's lots of millions of people, billions of pounds involved here. We need to be holding our political leaders to account, and also the International Olympic Committee to account as to why they actually condoned that. And as I said in my speech, the silence from people is the complicity in this, and we need to be standing up for the human rights and ending any kind of genocide in this day and age.
And which political party you represent?
I'm from the SNP.
SNP.
Yes.
So is Nicola Sturgeon, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you know her stance on?
I believe that in the UK and Scotland as well are in support of boycotting the Olympics, the Beijing Olympics, and there would not be any diplomats coming from the UK at all. But that's a reserve matter that was taken by Boris Johnson because it's a reserve matter. But I can't speak for Nicola personally, obviously, but I certainly, any human rights, any violations to any human rights, our party would very much be in support of it. And again, if you'd have to ask Nicola herself what her feelings are on the Beijing Olympics. So.
That's right. One more question, maybe a little bit off the topic. Remember 2014 referendum for independence in Scotland?
Yes.
I was here as well. There was a great atmosphere.
It's fantastic.
A lot of people were involved.
Yes, I was as well. Yeah. It was heartbreaking, the result, but we live in hope for another day that we get another referendum. There's talk of us starting to secure talks and putting something in place by 2023. So hopefully by then the pandemic will be over and we'll also start garnering more support. Not that we don't have any, we have lots of support for independence. And I think given everything that's happened during the pandemic and seeing the UK government, that it's all the more reason why Scotland should actually be an independent country.
Do you believe the elections or the referendum was fair and democratic?
Yes, I can't say anything that it wasn't. It has, yeah. I believe that the actual vote was. The only thing I would have said at the time was we should have had 16-year-olds being allowed to vote in it. And at the time we weren't allowed 16-year-olds to vote, but that's since changed up here in Scotland, and 16-year-olds are allowed to vote now. So it's allowing younger people to have a say in how their country's actually managed.
Thank you. And my last question, what do you think about the law of the Chinese Communist Party to reach out to people who are living outside of China and still be influenced, like Hong Kongers here? Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't actually, but it's something I'll certainly look into.
The national security law in Hong Kong now, which has been applied to China, applies universally. So even the Hong Kongers coming here, about 100,000 of them living in UK just now, they can be under jurisdiction of a Chinese Communist Party.
Really? Oh my goodness. I didn't realise that. I thought when they'd obviously gone out of the country, then they were free, freedom of speech, freedom to decide. But obviously, that's incredible, actually. That's terrible.
Yeah, there is more things people need to raise awareness about.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't realise that. That's quite, that's eye-opening, actually. So it is.
Thank you so much for your chat
Thank
and
you.
your support.
Sorry, what's your name?
Stepan.
Stefan. It's lovely meeting you.
Say Stevenson.
Yes, Colette.
Colette.
Colette. Yes, Stevens. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
No, thanks. Nice to meet you. Yeah, you too.
Can you hear the sound? Fantastic. Apologies for some technical difficulties with sound. We need to restart the broadcasting. So it seems that everybody's moving a little bit.
Moving around the corner to try and get out of the wind.
So to get out of the wind, so let's follow the people. It's relatively cold, but if you are well dressed, it's okay. Not many people are wearing gloves, actually, which is surprising. Of silence as well when nobody's talking about Jesus. Maybe the guys said already what they need to say. Can you hear me now? Hello? How is the sound? Is the sound okay? Hello, how is the sound? Can you hear okay, yeah? Okay, we're connected again. Shall we start the interview from beginning? The questions.
Okay, and I need to say Cantonese once and English once.
English and Cantonese.
English,
Yeah.
I can speak Cantonese and English too.
Fantastic. Yeah, if you can say both. So, hello and welcome to Glasgow. We've met yesterday in Dundee. How would you compare yesterday event there and today in Glasgow?
We just finished the Dundee event. We just have after we tidy up, we just have some drinks and food in the pub, and we jump on the bus at 8 o'clock. And when we arrived to Glasgow, we already is 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and we are happy we find a cheapest hotel here, and we just take a rest maybe in 3 or 4 hours because we forget to put the ass. You see the battles yesterday, there was no ass there because we forget to put the ass. And last night, when we get into the hotel, we break this battles and put the ass back in the battles. So we just only rest for 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe we need to go because just.
What do you think about Glasgow people? Are they more welcoming or interacting or compared to yesterday?
I think the Glasgow people is interesting in something they don't know. Seems maybe there is the first time they see Hong Kongers hosting an event and asking people to focus on Asia's problems. Maybe so. I think that they're good for interacting, and we have a good conversation here because they feel interest of us. I think at this moment, maybe it's interesting on us. Yeah.
Okay. And you also spoke to our MP came.
Yeah.
And she had a speech.
Yeah.
What do you think of her supporting speech?
Oh, we are happy that MP and MSP can come and focus on Hong Kong problem, focus on the human rights problem in China. And we hope that the MP and MSP or the government from British or Scottish can keep going on and focus on the problem, focus on human rights problem in China or in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Okay. We'd like to answer the same for Cantonese people watching you in Hong Kong.
我哋好開心邀請到 MP 或者 MP 係其實頭先我哋邀請嗰個係 MSP 嚟嘅，即係一個蘇格蘭國會議員。咁我哋好開心，我哋邀請到佢啦。咁佢出席嗰個廣告都寫得非常之好啦。咁我哋希望嘅就係話蘇格蘭國會可以繼續地去關注香港嘅議題，關注中國人權議題。咁亦都希望透過我哋更加多嘅溝通，令到香港人可以更加舒服地、更加融入到呢一個社會。
Okay. And tomorrow you're going to go to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Is that your last city visiting in Scotland?
Yes.
And then what are you going to do next? What's your next plan?
Let's go for a drink. We'll come. Let's go for a drink. We'll come. Just kidding. Maybe we need to rest a little bit because we got some of the my personal problems, and because we just all in to the event, we haven't stopped to tidy up our things and to fix our problems. You know what? When the event keep going on, my place living was nasty and many fires here and many floods here, and we need to fix it. So maybe we need to rest a few days and think what we do next time. Yeah.
Okay. So, but generally, you are focusing on raising awareness across the UK.
Yeah, we're raising awareness, raising awareness, raising people awareness to Hong Kongers, to Chinese, and to the Chinese government what they did for human rights problem.
And the Cantonese?
我哋會繼續去做一啲議題係關注翻港人啦，亦都係關注翻中國人權情況。
謝謝 ，Thank you。
好。
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Are you okay to talk on camera?
Yeah. It's okay.
Fantastic.
What's this? That's cool.
Right. You speak Cantonese?
Yeah, I speak Cantonese.
Great. Do you have a message for your Cantonese friends in Hong Kong for what's happening here, where you come from, and what you want to achieve?
Well, I come from Hong Kong, and I don't know how to say that.
Do you travel with your group, or do you stay in Glasgow just now?
Yeah, I come a long time, about almost 2 years. So we joined the group. It's trying to tell the people the China, the human right is have a risk, is have a big problem, something like that. So today we come to here to show the banner and tell the Scotland people and what happened in the China, the death camp and the human rights problem, and about Hong Kong. The national law is passed by the last year, so the Hong Kong people is very afraid. They don't speak anything to the bad things to the government. So the situation is very bad. So to the Hong Kong people, say we will continue to fighting the government at the UK. So don't worry about that. Yeah.
Okay. Could you say what you just said to me in Cantonese for people who are watching in Hong Kong?
Well, I speak to England.
You can speak Cantonese to him.
Well, 香港嘅手足，大家依家嘅情況我明白係非常困難嘅，但係大家都要堅持住，我哋只要仲有一個希望喺度，將來我哋應該可以光復到香港嘅。只要大家唔死心，繼續奮鬥落去，咁樣就相信有一日就可以光復香港時代革命啊！That's all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
And best of luck.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Hello, madam. Do you have a second? Do you have a moment? Would you like to answer a couple of questions?
English.
English? English?
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think of this banner of what's happening here? Do you know about anything about the Beijing Olympics Games?
Actually, no. Anything about that?
Okay, that's not a problem. Have a nice day. Good afternoon. Would you mind answering a couple of questions?
Sorry?
Would you mind answering a couple of questions?
Oh, yeah, but no face.
No face. Okay, that's good. Is it no face?
Yes.
That's great. Fantastic. Have you heard about the Beijing Olympic Games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are you here to in support of this, or are you just a walking passerby?
Yeah, I will support this for boycotting the Beijing government.
Yeah. So for you, what's happening in Hong Kong just now?
What's happening is like you can look at this one about human rights or freedom of press, and a lot of young people are being arrested and put in jail because of protesting.
And are you Hong Kong from
Yes,
Hong Kong yourself?
I'm from Hong Kong.
How long have you been in Scotland?
Oh, for 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
Wow. So you are the one of the person who escaped Hong Kong because of the security law.
Kind of. Yeah.
Wow. What message would you like to give from your observation to people who are watching this in Hong Kong just now? You can speak in Cantonese.
香港人加油. I don't know what should I really say. Yeah. But, yeah, keep on fighting for it. It may be very hard, but
Do you feel there's a support from Scottish people and from Scotland?
I think maybe the current awareness of Scottish people is not enough because I think they treat China as a factory rather than a dictator.
So you say that
They treat China as a factory rather than they treat China as a dictator. They don't really think China is that dictative, because they treat China as only a factory that they can get their clothes, their shoes, their bags.
okay, so there is a lack of awareness, you're saying,
Yes.
at the moment,
Yes.
and you would like to help to improve the situation
Yes.
by being here. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey. Can I have another question? How do you feel? Because
maybe I should.
okay.
Yes. Sorry.
So you say you've been here for 4 months.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be your first Chinese New Year in Scotland.
Yes.
How do you feel about celebrating this in this country?
I don't really celebrate Chinese New Year, but I think Chinese New Year is separate from the Chinese government. So, what do you want to?
Okay.
I mean, celebrating Chinese New Year is it's like a tradition, but not really having a lot of political stance in celebrating this tradition.
Okay, so it seems like to you there's more important things than celebrating Chinese New Year.
In this year?
There are more important things than celebrating Chinese New Year because it's just a tradition for you.
Yes.
Is there any special meaning to the Chinese New Year to you?
I think for our generation,
This year.
it's already.
In this year, anything special for this year?
You want me to say to boycott the Olympic Games, or
You can speak in Cantonese. Yeah.
are you looking for any? Are you looking for some answers, or
You can say what you feel about.
celebrating Chinese New Year? Or honestly, I don't have any special
Okay.
feelings.
Can I give you headphones and we can? Okay.
Hello. Because I really don't have any special meaning to. I really don't feel any special meaning towards. Is it okay?
Yes, of course.
Oh no, because I'm studying alone in Glasgow, so I don't have any family members with me for this Chinese New Year. Maybe I will spend some time with my friends in Glasgow. May I ask which report organization are you from?
You asking me?
Yes. So it's based in Scotland.
It's international. Yeah. There's also one in Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you for your time
Thank you very
and
much.
best of luck. Yes. Yeah.
Take the videos that which the Chinese come and try harassing us. Do you take the videos?
Sorry, what do you say?
There's some Chinese come and harassing me and MSP. Have you take the videos?
So you had some harassment from the Chinese person.
Yeah. So there's two girls. Maybe they take it. They're harassing us and us asking this just not true. Just they don't know the China. We were doing something that is meant to break down or something. They're saying meant to break down, and we asked them to leave and sign film it, and they just go away.
Okay, thank you. Did you hear? Okay, there was some interference from two Chinese ladies, and they were objecting to this protest. And The gentleman here just told me that there were, and you could see it in the Glasgow before and different protests too, that people who are for freedom and independence, the mainland Chinese people who are also students here, they sometimes come and interfere with the events, and they have their no, it's not those two ladies in pink. They are supporting. They have the same leaflets. They've been asked to leave and they are gone. But I've seen it before in Glasgow with the different protests that you can sometimes have clashes of ideology and people who are indoctrinated by the Chinese Communist Party regime from a young age. Even though they live in a free country, they are still not aware of the truth, and they have access to the free media in the UK, which is worrying. I must say that the ignorance happens among people everywhere. Yeah. You can see how successful it is to have influence of people studying abroad in a free country and still have the beliefs and ignorance like nothing is really happening. Hello? Okay. Okay. Hello. How are you? Would you mind answering a couple of questions? Where do you come from? You're from Hong Kong?
Yeah.
How long have you been in Scotland?
Around 2 months.
About 2 months?
Yeah.
Wow, great. And you are supporting this protest here? You stay in Glasgow?
Yes.
Wonderful. What do you feel, what is going to be the achievement of this?
That's cool.
Hmm?
That's cool.
Would you like to say something to people in Hong Kong just now? In Cantonese, you can speak in Cantonese.
Okay. 嗰個香港時代革命 ，yeah，嗰個香港時代革命。
Okay. And do you have any, because it's the first time celebrating the Chinese New Year away from home, what does it mean to you?
Nothing is great couple.
And in Cantonese?
It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge for us.
Challenge for you.
Yeah.
Do you miss your family? And friends?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have a hope that the situation will change in Hong Kong?
Not really.
Don't know. Okay, best of luck. Thank you. ¿Quién? Okay, my battery is running really low at the moment. Although I'm connected to power bank and I'm switching from one to another one because it's cold and it's demanding on a daytime Wi-Fi. Anyway, let's see how much more we can communicate. I would like to ask gentlemen here some questions, but they are engaged in conversation at the moment. Hello? Hello. Sorry to interrupt. May we ask some questions? This is a live broadcast into Hong Kong directly.
Yeah.
Do you have a moment for answering some questions?
She's not available for now. She's not available for now for the interview. Sorry. 大幾月呢個係？
Oh, okay.
我哋一係我哋再過少少睇啦，過少。Okay.
Sure. Okay. Can I speak with you? Can I speak with you as an organizer? Later?
We talk later.
Okay, no problem. Sure, he seems to be occupied with something. Okay. He said later, but
I want to try and make some money there. You just go on with me.
Hello? Okay. These two people seem to have some serious conversation. And he wants to talk later. Okay. Hiya, would you mind answering some questions?
Sorry, my English may be not
English, but you understand questions? You can answer in Cantonese. You speak Cantonese?
Yeah.
Cool. You come from Hong Kong?
Yes.
How long have you been in Scotland?
Almost 9 months.
Almost 9 months?
Yes.
Okay. How come you are involved in this protest? You can answer in Cantonese.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, can I pardon? Can you say again?
Yeah. So why are you in this protesting here, and what do you think you want to achieve, and how do you feel about the situation? And you can answer to people watching this in Hong Kong just now in Cantonese.
Sorry, maybe I don't understand the questions.
Okay.
Maybe you can ask my friend.
I spoke to your friend already. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a message for people in Hong Kong? What do you would like to say to them just now? They are watching. In Cantonese, you speak in Cantonese. You can tell them in Cantonese. Anything about why you are here? What's your feelings?
希望大家多啲支持喺英國呢邊嘅手足啦。咁我哋都喺呢邊嘅亞洲人隊，其實嗰個過得其實都相當艱難嘅。希望大家如果能力嘅就幫助多啲係大家唔同嘅手足啦。係咁多啦。This is all.
Okay, thank you. Jen. Okay, that's great. Excuse me, can I give you headphones for a moment? What? Yeah.
Hello. 也可以的。哦。應該我叫阿 Sam 啊，因為我而家都仲係一個政治庇護嘅身份。咁其實我哋而家生活都比較艱難嘅，因為我始終都冇辦法工作，要靠政府嘅支援。咁政府嘅支援都係勉強夠生活咯。咁都希望我哋可以早日成功申請啦。咁暫時都係得呢個盼望嘅啫，都係唯有。然後你們有什麼問題嗎？Hello。Hello? Sorry. Hello. Any questions? 可能就同平時生活一樣咯，都冇辦法有特別嘅有其他特別嘅過法㗎啦，因為都冇呢邊嘅生活可能都冇辦法好似以前咁有過節嘅氣氛。雖然我明白大家香港嘅政治環境都相當之困難，但都希望大家唔好放棄，繼續堅持落去啦。我想講嘅係咁多㗎啦。Thank you。
It's English. Back to me, Chair. Hello, madam.
Hello.
What do you have to say about what's happening today?
I should say that people should be more supportive of this cause. This is a very, very worthy cause. We have to put a stop to the genocide games 2022.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. And where do you come from yourself?
I'm originally from Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe?
Yes.
Do you have anything similar in Zimbabwe in terms of genocide or political situations?
Absolutely.
Which are connected to Hong Kong?
Yes, absolutely indeed. The current president is the perpetrator of the genocide of 1980, which killed more than 30,000 people. And he's the sitting president at the moment.
Wow. Is he connected to Chinese communist regime in any way, or is it separate in his dictatorship?
All we know is that the Chinese have a hold in the country. They are being given land, and all the people are being displaced with no compensation and nowhere to go. So the Chinese are being given the land to develop or to run their business or to build. And whilst the native people or the people of Zimbabwe would be displaced and have nowhere to go.
Thank you, madam. And why is this event important to you personally?
Here in support of a very dear friend. Yeah, she stood with me in very, very, very many times. So I'm here in support of a very dear friend of mine.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
No worries.
May I ask your friend who had a speech earlier on as well if she's got something to say?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Madam, hey, you Ellen?
I'm Eleanor, yes.
Eleanor. Nice to meet you. This is support. This is live streaming to Hong Kong people. So they are watching it as you speak. Would you like to say how you've been involved with this protest? And you were wearing a Tibetan flag, I believe, yeah?
I've been involved with the Tibetan freedom struggle for many years. I've been a member of Free Tibet as an organization for over 20 years now, and I worked with them for 7 years, and now I'm coordinating support for Tibet here in Scotland. I have an organisation called Tibet Solidarity, and I work with the cross-party group in Tibet in the Scottish Parliament. So I'm working with the MSPs, coordinating political action on Tibet, and today is the first time in Scotland that we are working in partnership with Hong Kongers. So it's quite an exciting development. This campaign on the Olympics has brought together all of the communities who are affected by China's repression, as I mentioned in my speech. So it's great for building these relationships and alliances, and I think that's a really important development because we will be stronger together, and it's easier for China to pick on small groups individually, but when we all stand together against them, we're stronger. You want me to say some more?
Yeah, it's newly almost Chinese New Year.
Yes.
What's your idea about Hong Kongers celebrating in Scotland?
I think that's great. I'll be celebrating Tibetan New Year with the Tibetan community here in Scotland. That's actually happening in March. It's similar to the Chinese New Year, but it happens at a slightly different time of year. They're very much looking forward to celebrating that, and I'm sure the Hong Kongers are looking forward to celebrating their New Year, and they should do that, and I hope they all have a wonderful time.
Right. Would like to say anything to Hong Kongers in relation to the Chinese New Year, to Hong Kong New Year?
I don't know how to say Happy New Year in Cantonese.
Neither do I.
But yeah, I wish you all a Happy New Year and stay strong. I hope freedom and justice will come soon.
Wonderful.
And those of you who are here in Scotland, I hope you get used to the weather soon.
That's amazing.
You're very welcome here in Scotland. Hope you're settling in.
Great. Are you aware of the new security law that it extended to beyond the borders of China, and it's universal, no matter where Hong Kongers are, they're affected by it?
I hadn't followed up on the reach of it, no. I'll do some reading into that.
Yeah, it's also new to me, so.
Yeah. No, I'll look into that, check what's happening. I knew they'd enacted the new security law, but I hadn't read the details.
Yeah, so no matter where the Hong Kongers are, they're by the threat of being arrested or under jurisdiction of Chinese Communist Party. They can be on the moon, on the Mars, anywhere in the universe.
They have a long arm, unfortunately. They like to meddle in other people's affairs. They're very good at telling other people not to meddle in their affairs, but they do like to meddle in other people's affairs. Yeah, double standards.
What do you think about Chinese Communist Party? How long do they have, in your opinion? With everybody uniting, as you say, and being aware of the atrocities they are committing, do you think it's going to be end soon, or they may have 5 more minutes?
I think they have 5 more minutes. Yeah, I think it would be quite naive to pretend that we could take them down quickly or easily. Because too many governments seem to be afraid of them. It's surprisingly difficult to get governments to stand up to them. They all seem to be terrified of losing their trade deals. Which I find very frustrating because China needs the trade as much as anyone else does. It's not a one-way street. They have a lot of money, but they also have a lot of debt. They're not as economically powerful as people think they are. I mean, yes, they have economic power, but they need the trade in order to sustain that. So they have a stake in maintaining these relationships. They don't hold all the cards. They're just good at pretending they do. And it annoys me that so many governments buy that line and panic every time the Chinese government says we are upset and our feelings are hurt. What about the feelings of the people in Hong Kong or Tibet or Taiwan or the Uyghurs? Their feelings get hurt and their physical bodies get hurt when they're put in camps and prisons and tortured. It makes me quite angry sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. You're aware of there's a lot of Buddhist practices in China.
Yeah.
And they teach about being detached from our own emotions.
Yes. But if I was too detached, I wouldn't be a very good campaigner.
That's right. So you're using the strength of a human emotion
Yes.
to make a change in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Before you become Buddha.
Yes.
Very clever. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
And the support of everybody. And I wish you all the best with the campaign.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you take a video, sorry. That's okay. Actually, you're looking for help?
Hello.
Hello.
You okay to talk now?
Oh, sure.
Fantastic. Great, thank you. Okay.
好啦，咁我自己之後拜拜。有嘢你喺我嗰度講。好，我再講。Yeah.
How are you today?
No, we just finished the event today, and we share some fires, and we invite some guests for speak. We think this is quite good for in the region.
Okay. What do you think of today's event? What do you think of today's event compared to yesterday one in Dundee? Are people more receptive?
This is Dundee is the second station, and this is the third station. And then in the last stop is in Edinburgh. So we saw all the guys, all the local citizens is welcome for Tibetan and Hong Kongers. They have have some interest on our content. It's quite good.
Great.
Okay.
And how long have you been in Scotland for? How long have you been living here?
Just a few months.
Few months.
Oh.
So this is gonna be your first time celebrating Chinese New Year away from Hong Kong.
That is Lunar New Year. We don't call Chinese New Year, okay?
Sorry?
This is Lunar New Year. It's a different of the Chinese New Year.
Oh, it's a different.
we call this Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year.
Not Chinese New Year.
I'm sorry for the mistake I made.
Okay.
I'll know better. But how do you feel about celebrating the Lunar New Year away from Hong Kong?
Actually, many of Hong Kongers still settled their life in Scotland, in UK. So we don't have much time and preparation for celebration. Actually, we don't have much well celebration here.
Okay.
Because you know that the Asian and the Hong Kongers and the Chinese, we are not the major in here. We don't have a good community here. But some of them they will celebrate themselves.
So what would you tell message to people living in Hong Kong just now about your experience living in Scotland? And you can say it in Cantonese. This is broadcasting for Epoch Times for Hong Kong at the moment.
I think
you can speak in Cantonese to them, yeah? About how Scotland is welcoming to you.
Yeah. We keep going. 我哋繼續加油，繼續努力，係啊，唔好放棄，係啦，繼續努力。OK。Oh, that's all. Okay.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add to this for people living in Hong Kong just now?
Happy Lunar New Year.
Okay, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, it seems that the event was quite successful. There were speakers from political parties in support of Taiwan, Hong Kong, and other places which are under pressure of a Chinese Communist Party. And a lot of leaflets were handed out by hand and also by wind, but it didn't discourage anybody to continue the activities. Seems like everybody's saying goodbye to each other with a smile, and we wish them good luck to continue tomorrow in Edinburgh and later on somewhere else. And as you may have heard, Scotland is a very welcoming place for anybody to find a refuge here. So anybody who's feeling under stress from oppression, please come to Scotland. We welcome you. We love you. And thank you very much for everybody's support. Thank you. Thank you.